Hello and welcome back to Soul Blazer. This is Bio Enchanted, and today we'll be going through the rest of this dungeon. And I'll still be very bad at this one mechanic where if you hold down the shoulder buttons, it attracts those little orb things so you can get more efficiently, the gems I mean. I've not caught the hang of that, I'm afraid to say, in this video, so a lot of you will probably get fairly frustrated with me, but I'm trying. It's just one of those things where on the keyboard it's kind of hard to remember where all the buttons are, for that kind of thing. And it's not as obvious when you're doing it as it was in the likes of The Illusion of Gaia, for example, where it had a really obvious animation for doing it. Finally, making sure I have the medical herb equipped. Now we can finally go to the final leg of our journey to the Light Shrine. And happily we can be at the end of this really annoying section of the game. Because I really don't like the enemies in this whole section, they're really irritating. And heads up, I forget about that mole, but I'll come back for him later. Because we will be coming back here later as well in general, so I'll put a note in to get for him next time. Sometimes it can be kind of finicky to work out a good placement when there's so many guys here. And yeah, I think this is also me trying to work out the buttons for the whole the shoulder button holding thing. This is why it's such a mess. That's something I'll have to practice off screen when I'm recording the next practicing the next few sections. But I will keep working on it so I can actually do it, because it sounds like a really useful thing to have. And those butterflies are annoying. Of course, we can actually go a bit further to the left here. The electric experience. Now let's go into the Light Shrine, the final shrine in this area. And the final section of the level too. And yeah, I never look back when I get this particular magic, because it's so much more powerful than the fireballs. Yeah, I forgot about holding the button, sorry. And these guys are of course the worst enemies, because they flicker all the time and you never know where they're going to end up being. And it's such a nightmare to deal with them. Just generally enemies that do that kind of turn invisible thing, especially in this game, are just really obnoxious to deal with. You can't really do much about them, because when they're invisible, they can't be hurt. Happily these guys aren't doing that, they're just walking at us, probably because they have no real line of sight right now. But this is fairly straightforward. It's a maze of lasers, and we just need to figure out the route through them. As we go, we deactivate more and more of the lasers, and also end up dealing with these annoying balls of energy kind of guys, little fireball guys, who are an enemy type that we can't kill yet. They're the one that we can only stun with the Psycho Sword. But it will actually require a different sword to the one that kills metal enemies. But we'll see that when we see it. But for now, when we do our reverse trip back to the first dungeon, we won't be coming back here yet because of them guys. And of course, those panels are the ones for the enemies that we can't kill yet, these guys. Well, really annoying to avoid because of the pinball thing they do. It shouldn't be that hard to avoid. It's very straightforward to the way they move, but I just have trouble with those kind of things in a 2D space especially. I've always been terrible at 2D games. That's why I haven't played a lot of the older retro games, because I'm just not very good at them. at all. As you can see, quite clearly from this mess. It's an absolute mess. So that level up was lucky. Seriously, these guys are the worst. I hate teleporting lizards. Well, not even teleporting, they're just invisible. It's a huge nightmare to deal with. And yeah, like the plants, if they're a particular animation, you can't, in this case a lack of animation, you can't hit them. This is why this dungeon sucks. You have so many of these enemies that you just can't hit half the time. And it's like, that's not a challenge, that's not, they're not even like dodging, it's just stupid. Also, this part took the longest to do, or at least to get around to doing, simply because the boss at the end of this video is terrible. I don't like the boss of this dungeon at all. But we'll see that in a few minutes when we get there. Now let's load those guys over here. The thing is the clever use of the whole, like, mechanic there with that, having them have to come to you, because they can go through things and walls and stuff. This is the worst, because all these rooms are gigantic, and you can barely tell where the walls begin and end. Because of just how big they are, so you can barely tell which direction you're going in half the time. And even when you do find a way to go, it's like, is it something I've just come from? It's kind of hard to tell. It's just a big, empty space. It's a very poor use of space, in my opinion. It's just a way of making the darkness artificially difficult. And also, there's always way too many of these bloody lizards as well. They're so ridiculous. Like, come on, that should have been the last one, but it's like, nope, there always has to be at least like 8 of them. They spawn one at a time, and it's just, they're so annoying to deal with. Happily, this particular dungeon area thing, the light shrine basement, is relatively straightforward. It's just because you can't see the balls outside of the... Well, you can't... Your balls are the only thing you can see outside of the light range. And the fact there's so many enemies around, it's just... It's a pain to get through, and you will get hit a lot. At least I do. This whole dungeon generally has the most annoying enemies. I mean, the other dungeons have annoying enemies, but they're annoying in a way you can, for the most part, deal with. There are a few exceptions coming up later on in the game, and we'll see those when we see them. And maybe I'll even figure out how to get around them. But for now, these guys are the worst. The other enemies aren't nearly as bad because they don't have these kind of obnoxious invisibility frames. At least not as badly as these guys do. Of course, here we have these guys. They can't just trap them behind the walls because they can firelight you. At least I don't believe you can anyway. Let's just take care of them. And there's our final shortcut to this area. The problem with this shortcut is it's too far away from the actual end of the dungeon, so you still have to wind through a bunch of these little rooms with the yellow energy spirit things to actually get to the actual boss door if you have to come back here for supplies like I did. So it's very easy to accidentally get tagged by one on the way around, and that's not fun. But we're nearly there now. And then we can discuss the boss for real. Here we are. So off screen I went back and grabbed another herb, because we will need a herb. And here we are. There we go. Yeah, I died a few times as well, so I had to reload states. But here we are inside the boss room, just north of there. These guys, there were 3 of them. And they each have all the health. So it's triple the health. This guy's not too bad. But this guy's annoying because of the way he has to kind of... the way he kind of zooms around. They all zoom around like this, but this guy's puddles are kind of annoying to avoid because they just kind of make a mess all over the place and it reduces the room you have to move. And generally, if you make too many mistakes in these rooms, it can be the end of a run. And this guy's particularly annoying as well because he has homing fire that comes in a kind of a path towards you. And of course, he can also hit you with his soul flushing, and you also have to deal with the rest of the blue guys' things. I understand what they're trying to do. They're statues of water, fire, and light. I think that's what they're going for there. Although you fight them in reverse order, which is a little clever. But it's just kind of... it's an obnoxious fight, basically. It's got too many things going on at once because of how many enemies there are to deal with, and the fact that too many mistakes can basically doom a run. It's just not that much fun to do, and it's just kind of ugly as well, because like, the guys are just like zooming around seemingly randomly with no real rhyme or reason. Like sometimes you can get stuck in a pattern like that. It's just not a fun fight. I really dislike this fight. It's just kind of a mess overall, really, this one. Not really much strategy to it beyond just hope. But that's dealt with now. The worst boss in the game is finally over, after liberal use of save states. It's also one of the few bosses that, because of how quickly they move, you can't just hold the sword button down and power them to death. So let's go back to get our second big stone, shall we? But that's over now, so that's the worst part of the game in my opinion over, so the rest of it will come relatively quickly, like at least hopefully with fewer gaps between updates. No longer waiting a whole month before each one comes. Because this was kind of the part I was dreading most. There's always that part in every game though, where there's the part that you just don't like doing. Even in the best games there are moments like that for me. There we have the green stone, technically from the tree, but also from Turbo, because he buried it there. Now we actually have all 3 of these guys, so let's see what they do, shall we? That's a cute show. And now it's a fairly basic thing, this. They always, it seems kind of daunting at first, but the right one always lands in the same place. So it's really no challenge at all if you know where the right one is going to stop, which is here. It's a cute little puzzle though. And it gets you a few medical herbs, that's nice. Let's also talk to this new squirrel up in here. This is the first of the Master's Emblems. There are 8 of them, and we'll see what they do in a minute. And also when we get all 8 of them. The Master's Emblems all have a symbol that I think I neglected to show off here, but the symbols are, I believe, based on the astrological signs of the planets. Yep, all 8 emblems will give us a thing that will allow us to cast magic for free. That's very valuable. And finally that's been done over with, until we go back there to kill the enemies we couldn't kill yet, which there were a great many of them. That was the guy I was double checking, I forgot the one guy we actually had that's new, Mole. My bad. Again, we will revisit him now that I realise I've missed him. So now it's time to go to the next area. Area 3, which is interesting. It's got a lot of variety to it visually, and I generally really like it more than Area 2. So, here we are, at the Mermaid Palace. I'll see you next time when we start finding out why it's called that. Goodbye.